Sofia Martinez, and welcome to my channel. If you're new to my channel, if you are welcoming, I wanna welcome you back. Today, I wanted to share a story with you, and I'm gonna read it. And this story is a Sufi story that I love deeply, deeply. And the story goes like this. A stream from its beginnings in a faraway mountains passed through a great variety of countryside and then reached the sands of a vast desert. Since it had crossed every other barrier, it was it was confident that it could cross the desert. However, no matter how hard it tried, the stream always disappeared in the sand. It was convinced that its destiny was to cross this desert, but could not find a way. It became upset and frightened. Then it heard a whisper from the desert sand. The wind crosses the desert, and so can the stream. The stream was amazed by the sand's whisper and started to talk. I have been trying as hard as I can, and anyhow, the wind can fly, and I am not the wind. I cannot fly. Of course, hurtling in your accustomed way, you cannot cross. If you keep doing it, you will for sure disappear and become a marsh. You must allow the wind to carry you over to your destination. But how could this happen? Asked the river. By allowing yourself to be absorbed in the wind. The stream did not like this idea. I had never been absorbed before and was frightened of losing its identity. It thought, if I lose my identity, can I get it back again? Or will it be left or will I be left formless, wandering with the wind forever? The sand, sensing the stream's fear, spoke. This is one of the wind's jobs. It takes up water as vapor and carries it over the desert, and then lets it fall again. Falling as rain, the water again becomes a stream. How can I be sure of that? The water said. It is so, and if you do not believe it, you cannot become more than a marsh. And even that could take many, many years, and that it's certainly not the same as a stream. But I cannot remain the same stream as I am today. You cannot. In either case, remain so. The whisperer said, your essential part is carried away and forms a stream again. Even though you are called a stream and feel a stream, you do not know which part of you is the essential one. On hearing this, vague echoes began to awake for the stream. Dim memories of an aspect of streamness being held by the wind. It thought maybe this is a real thing to do, though not the obvious thing to do. So, with a leap of faith, the stream let go and began to raise as vapor into the welcoming arms of the wind, being lifted gently upwards and over the desert, falling softly as it reached the roof of a mountain many miles away, becoming rain and then a stream again. The stream was able to remember and record more strongly in his mind, his heart, and his body the details of the experience and reflected, now I have learned my true identity. The stream was learning. The sands whispered, we know because we see it happen every day. And because we, the sands, extend from the riverside all the way to the mountains. All that is why it is said, the way of the journey of the stream of life is written in the sands. Hmm. I love this story so very much. Um, I remember reading it a few years ago and just falling in love with the story because there's so much depth in it. In the sense of, for me as a coach, I feel like that's the beauty of a coaching process, of a coaching conversation, where wherever in your life you're facing that desert, and we have all faced a desert in our life and will continue to face deserts in our life. And when we are in front and confronted with the desert, what do we choose to do? We have the choice of transforming ourselves and through the experience, because the factor of insanity is continuing to do the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. That river reached that desert, and by doing exactly what it has been doing in the past, that's what got that river to that point. But today wasn't getting the river to across the desert. And that's the beautiful metaphor of how many times you have learned a way of being in your life that is no longer serving you. That you continue yourself finding in the same situation over and over again, no matter how many times you change the action. Why is this? Because there's a way that what worked before is not working today. Maybe my strong-headed, my strong way of being, of pushing forward, has helped me to get here today, but it's not gonna help me from now onwards. It's not gonna help me in the desert because I continue to push, 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 push. I'm gonna die in the desert. And there's certain deaths in life that we go through. We go through a physical death, and we go through an emotional death or a symbolic death. If you look back into your life and you have experienced many lifetimes because you have been through different processes of your life that have changed you. You are not the same person that when you went through that experience, you're not the same again. There's certain experiences in our lives that change us completely. That could be a change of relationship, a loss of a relationship, a loss of a loved one. Could be a birth, becoming a mother or a father, moving into a different country, passing from a teen to a woman. You're not the same. There are experiences that change you completely. This is what it's speaking about. And so in that change, your fear are gonna come up because our uh, fear comes up when there's a threat to our life. And for our brain, naturally, the symbolic death still means a death, a way of dying, and means letting go of something that until now it's known. And because it's known, it's safe. Everything that takes you out of your comfort zone will be experienced as unsafe, as a threat. And anything that you are facing and being challenged that is not in alignment with the prohibitions of your ancestral line will also, in the unconscious, be running. The loyalties that you have for your family and your ancestral line, some of them are part of you and you do it without even knowing. For me, for example, something that I've been really focusing in the past few years is that how family comes first and stability means all these things. To be stable means living in one place for a very long time, and I haven't. I mean, overall, when I look back, I have been living in Canada for a very long time, but I've been moving through Canada a lot, and moving away as well, out of the country as well. And so there's a way where unconsciously I am thinking that that's not the right way to live. But because through my life, I've been hearing that being stable means living in one place for a very long time, or most of your life, or for your whole life. And so after, what do you believe is the meaning of when the the river finally realizes that it can continue the same and become a marsh? That's a possibility, and yet it won't remain the same. Or it can evaporate and become vapor and be allowed to be taken by the wind and cross the desert. But this destiny is unknown. It can be, completely released, dissolved, and die. That quote from the caterpillar thought that it was going through its sure death when it became the butterfly. So it's something like that. There's a way where, in order for us to change our conscious, our awareness, there has to be a shift, such a deep transformation that we become a different person, that we are no longer who we were, and the certain experiences in our life does that. So where in your life are you in this story? Are you facing the desert and fighting against the flow of your life that is asking you to cross the desert, and yet fears are coming up? Okay, if you're there, what fears are coming up? Is it the loss of your identity that you're afraid of, just as the river was saying? Who I will become? Will I die if I let go? If I surrender to this transformation, will I die? And so I stay here doing the same things over and over again? Is it that you're afraid of having your capabilities, your resources? That is it possible for you given who you are? What are the fears that are showing up in your life if you are there facing that desert? And what is it that you need to release to? What is the wind for you? What is becoming vapor for you in your life? To me, there's a way of perspective and thinking that needs to be released in order to create the shift, because I can change my actions over and over again and keep having the same results over and over again. What happens when I shift the way that I see myself, those lenses that I have placed like I was sharing, that moving is wrong because to be consistent is right, because to be stable you need to live somewhere in a very long time. So I make myself wrong. So taking those glasses of a truth that I believe that you have been living as a truth. What is that belief that you have been living as a truth, and maintaining that belief as a truth that no longer serves you, that is limiting you? Maybe it's a belief about yourself. Maybe it's a belief about who you should be in your life. Maybe it's a belief of you, of who you have been in your life and should continue to be in your life. Maybe it's a belief of what you're capable of and what you're not capable of. Maybe it's a belief about what others are gonna think if you do that. Maybe it's a belief about your value, about what is possible for you given who you are. And so what is that belief? And that's the mind. You have to raise into a different perspective to transform who you are. It goes again, the wind takes them across the desert, into the mountain, a new peak of mountain, a new perspective, a new reality, a new state of consciousness, a new awareness. And when it reaches, it becomes the rain, and therefore the stream again. This stream is not the same stream as it was before, because the experience changed that stream, changed you. And yet it knows the true identity. It knows its essence. It knows what is essential in the river, in the stream. Does it say you are named a stream, but what is it that you're made of? What is essential? Who and what is your essential self? What is your essence? For the stream is the water. What is your water? Beyond the identity. That's why I love so much this this story, because it speaks about the beautiful transformation of the being. And so what does this story mean for you? And please share in the comments. And I invite you to just take a moment after this video to just write down and let the answer come through. What is essential for me in my life? And what is that desert in your life that you're facing? What fears come up? What I'm afraid of as I face this desert? What I'm perceiving about myself and the desert? And what truth, what belief I am holding on, making it truth, that is limiting me. It's preventing me to cross the desert and reach a new level of awareness, of well-being, of freedom, of grace, of happiness, of abundance in my life. Big love. As always, I am here in unity, in love, and cooperation for yourself, each other, and the planet. And I offer one-on-one coaching sessions, so you can reach me directly at sofiamartinezcoaching.com. Sending you a big, big love, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Have a beautiful day.